Hey guys, we got a very basic Bible thing going on. We're going to be continuing to look at the book of Ruth. I thought of some more things from chapter 1. Man, the lights are so bright. My eyes look like supermodels. Here we go, guys. More things from chapter 1. All right, share that screen here. And here we go. All right. So, right around chapter verse 20. Here we go. Okay, let's start verse 19. So that's Naomi and Ruth. So they both went on until they came to Bethlehem from, was it Moab? Yeah, Ruth the Moabitess up here, the land of Moab. Okay. Elimelech and Naomi and their two sons there. They were from Bethlehem and they went to Moab. Okay. Because of the famine. I wonder if they should have stayed in Judah to entrusted God through the famine. Instead, they left and went to Moab, which is a place that the Israelites did not like. Um, God didn't like the Moabites. Um, maybe them going there was a mistake. I don't know. It doesn't tell us that though. So, all right. So Naomi and Ruth both went on till they came to Bethlehem. And when they had come to Bethlehem, all the city was stirred because of them. And the women said, okay. Maybe it's a feminine in Hebrew, maybe the they is feminine. Oh, because look, all the city was stirred because of them. And there's a tiny number 1 right there. When I hover over it, you could barely see it probably. When I hover over it, it says LIT, which means literally. So literally they. So I bet with this verse, you should say if it's like literally translated, quote unquote, literally translated. So they both went on until they came to Bethlehem. And when they had come to Bethlehem, all the city was stirred because of them. And they said, is this Naomi? The they, you might not be sure who it is. You might be like, who is the they? 1 second. I thought I got to sneeze. You might be wondering, who is the they? If it just said they said. You might think, you might think, it's Naomi and Ruth. Okay. Could you be like, and the city was stirred because of them, and they said, they who? The city? The city is not a they, the city is a the city. Well, maybe all the people in the city. Oh, wait. The city was stirred because of them, and they said, but you can tell it's not talking about Naomi and Ruth because what are the next 3 words? Is this Naomi? Naomi's not gonna, the city is stirred. And then Naomi and Ruth said, is this Naomi? But that wouldn't make any sense. I'm Naomi, right? Okay. So see, I mean, sometimes I'm kind of making it confusing on purpose. Make me use my thinking skills here. Okay. Over here, and the women said, in the ESV, the NET, the women of the village said, NIV, the women, NIV, the women, CSB, the local women, the women asked in the New Living Translation, is it really Naomi? The women asked, why do you think it's women? If it's literally they, so over here, is this really Naomi? They asked. you know, uh, the whole town was excited about them, and they asked, and if it's they, how come they put women? one of a few options. They in Hebrew, whatever the word for they in Hebrew, you translate it from Hebrew to English, whatever that Hebrew word it was originally, it was feminine. Masculine, feminine, neuter. It was a feminine they. Or you come down here, but she, that is Naomi. Naomi said, don't call me Naomi. It wouldn't be Ruth saying that. Don't call me Naomi. She's Naomi. My mother-in-law's Naomi. Why would they recognize Ruth anyway? You know, it said, is this Naomi? They wouldn't look at Ruth and say, look at Naomi. Okay, anyway, I'm getting way off, guys. It's like BJ, that's too much. Okay. Do not call me Naomi, call me Mara, for the Almighty has dealt with very bitterly with me. I, Naomi, I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. Why do you call me Naomi? Since the Lord has testified against me, and the Almighty has afflicted me. So Naomi returned, and her with Ruth the Moabitess, her daughter-in-law, who returned from land of Moab, and they came. I thought it said, let's see. Oh, I know what it is. Ruth, no, it might be other places in Ruth. Let's see, Ruth chapter 4. Gotta wait. Oh, it'd help if I hit go. There you go. Control F. Women. Okay. Right here. So Boaz, chapter 4, verse 18. So Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife, and he had relations with her. Ooh. And got it on, and the Lord enabled her to conceive, and she gave birth to a son. Then the women said to Naomi, blessed is the Lord. The Song of Songs. In the Song of Songs at various times, the Song of Solomon, there's like a chorus. Because it's like a poem or a song. They would, back in the olden days, I think choruses and songs, they would kind of, we make a very distinction, poem is a poem, it's not a song. A song is a song, it's not a poem. If you put a poem to music, you call it a song. But a song doesn't necessarily have to be poetry. Well, back then, they kind of, the two were more intermixed. They would often call poetry song, I believe. The Song of Songs, or the Song of Solomon, it would have, it would say something or another, said the ladies. Something or another, said the ladies. Let's try this. Travel Gateway, here we go. Now, obviously, I say, did you mean the book, Song of Solomon? No. Okay. Obviously, Ruth, the book of Ruth, is not a poem. It's not a song. It's a story. It's history. It's like a biography of like Ruth and Naomi Boaz, telling us that story. This is a poem about two lovers, King Solomon and someone else. Here we go. The chorus. We will rejoice in you and be joyful. We will praise you, love you more than wine. Rightly do they love you. Okay, let's see if the chorus. We will make for you, let's see, sooner or later it says, it's like 8 chapters. We'll go through really quick. The bride, the groom, the bride, see the groom, the bride, they're talking to each other. My beloved responded to me and said, arise, my darling, my beautiful one, and come along. For behold, the went, see, it's a poem, the chorus. The bride's trouble, the groom, Solomon's wedding day, the chorus. I know it's here. We're going to find it, what I'm looking for. Solomon's love expressed, oh, my sister, my bride. Yeah, he calls his bride his sister. I would never call my wife my sister. That'd be kind of strange, But hey, it's normal back then, I guess. What kind of beloved is your beloved, O most beautiful among women? If it's not, if what I'm looking for isn't there, I'm going to feel dumb. Where's your beloved God? I believe I keep calling her beautiful among women. Let's see. Okay, guys. What I thought was here is not here. There we go. I could have swore that somewhere in the Song of Solomon it said like the young women, but instead it's got the chorus, and that's not part of the original, of course. But I could have swore it said like the young women, like it's talking about just the women in general. Of course, it's a chorus in a song. Over here we have then the women. I'm going to look up the women. Ruth 7. Let's see. Pick for yourself more. We want to look up. Okay. And they both, the women. The women says it's Naomi. But join my young women here. So she stayed by the young women. No, that's not it. Who's the young woman? Then the women said, blessed is the Lord who has not left you without a redeemer. Okay. And the neighbor women gave him a name. Or 417. I was thinking maybe the women appeared throughout. I didn't recall it. I think maybe that's it. Maybe at another point it was like, then the women said this, that, and the other about Ruth. And then in another place in Ruth, then the women said, hey, what about Naomi? Hey, what about this and that? You know, almost like the women was a character. I was kind of thinking maybe it was like that. Doesn't seem that way. Now, I would say the women is a character, but this is a historical book. Well, there's still a person writing it. The person writing it, right? The person isn't like shooting it with a video camera. No, they're writing a story. They're writing history in the form of a story. Okay. So they could, right here, the women, My guess, though, probably just the feminine version, they female. So they women, the women, the female people, the female they, that's my guess. All right. Now after that long excursion, so they both went away. Is this Naomi? Verse 20. But Naomi said, do not call me Naomi, call me Mara, for the Almighty has dealt very bitterly with me. The Almighty has dealt very bitterly with me. I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. Empty. Why do you call me Naomi? Since the Lord has testified against me, and the Almighty has afflicted me. I wonder, in the Bible, do we have examples of God afflicting people, What is the Almighty? Let's look that up real quick. The Almighty. Why is she saying the Almighty? I am God Almighty. Here, let's type the Almighty. You put quotation marks around it. Okay. Genesis 4. From the God your Father who helps you, and by the Almighty who blesses you with blessings of heaven above. And let's see, full chapter. I think that's whenever Jacob is blessing his sons. Oh, all right. Control F. Almighty. Okay. Joseph. Okay, so he blesses Gad. He blesses all 12 of his sons here. He's got a Reuben because the firstborn, Simeon and Levi. Okay. Judah, their swords are implements of violence. Yeah, because they did something really bad. As for you, Judah, Zebulun, Issachar 6, Dan 7, Gad 8, Asher 9, Naphtali 10, Joseph 11, the beautiful branch, a fruitful branch by a spring. Joseph was the 11th son of Jacob. And down here, from the God of your father who helps you, and by the Almighty who blesses you with blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep that lies beneath, blessings of the breasts and of the womb. Blessings from God, blessings from the Almighty. X. Shaddai in Hebrew. Shaddai. You know, some people have heard the song El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Kana Adonai. I'm not, you know, it's they're Hebrew words put in, and we sing it in English. You know, um, so Shaddai is just Hebrew for Almighty. They had lots of names for God. There's a song today on Christian radio. You are Waymaker, Beautiful Savior, Promise Keeper, Light in the Darkness. My God, that is here. 5 names. You know, they had a bunch of names back, you know, back then too. So from the hands of the mighty one of Jacob, that's God. You know, okay. Why? How do we know that? Joseph is a fruitful branch by a spring. Its branches hang over a wall. The archers provoked him. Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery. Joseph was a fruitful branch. He was growing up. He was a branch by a spring. Whenever you're a tree and you're by a spring of water, you're going to grow up tall and lush, have lots of leaves and such. So Joseph was a fruitful branch, had lots of fruit, but his branches hung over a wall. The archers provoked him and shot at him, were hostile to him. But now his brothers were jealous of Joseph. They caught him, sold him into slavery. That's what happens earlier in the book of Genesis. So this prophecy is less of a blessing, actually. So it's kind of describing in very poetic language what Joseph is. But Joseph's bow, quote unquote, remained firm, and his arms were agile. Okay, right? Because Joseph was in prison. He was sold to slave traders. They took him down to Egypt. He got thrown into prison when he was there, but then he got raised up. So he got raised up to like a really high position in Egypt. So his bow remained firm. His arms were agile. I know we don't talk about each other like this today. If I was like gonna tell my wife how cool she was, I wouldn't call her, hey, you're a tree planted by a spring of water, and people were shooting at you with bows and arrows, but your bow remained firm. Would I say it to my wife? I probably not, you know, but this is the way they talked back then. From the hands of the mighty one, from there is the shepherd, the stone of Israel. From the God of your father who helps you. It's a lot of parallel. Okay. The hands of the mighty one. From there, the shepherd, the son of Israel. From the God of your father who helps you. By the Almighty who blesses you with blessings of heaven above. With blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep that lies beneath, blessings of the breast and of the womb. The blessings of your father have surpassed the blessings of my ancestor. My would be, okay, now we're starting to get off. I'm starting to try to figure out what does this mean. Here we go. The Almighty, a title for God. Okay. That's all we're trying to figure out. Okay, Numbers 24:24. Balaam saw that it pleased the Lord to bless Israel. He did not go as at other times to seek omens. Rather, he turned his attention toward the. So Balaam saw that it pleased the Lord to bless Israel. Balaam raised his eyes and saw Israel camping, and the Spirit of God came upon Balaam. Then Balaam took up his discourse, the declaration of Balaam, the declaration of a man whose eyes is open. His eyes are open. Okay. 24. Oh, here goes another one. He took up his discourse. He's possessed by God. He's trying to bless Israel. What is that? 24. Was it 24? I don't see it. Control F. 24:4. The declaration of Balaam, son of Beor. The declaration of the man whose eyes is open. The declaration of him who hears the words of God, who sees the vision of the Almighty. The Almighty. He's seen the vision. I mean, look, the Spirit of God came upon him. Balaam sought, please the Lord to bless Israel. He didn't go at other times to seek omens. Instead, the declaration of Balaam, who hears the words of the Almighty. Balaam sees the vision of the Almighty. He doesn't need to go seek an omen. He's got the vision of the Almighty, of God. Okay, so you can see that the Almighty, the name. 24:16 says it again. Ruth 1:20. For the Almighty has dealt very bitterly with me. Ruth 1:21. The Almighty has afflicted me. Okay, Job. Job is actually older. It's later in the Bible, like after Judges, you got Ruth, you got First and Second Samuel, First and Kings, First and Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, then the book of Job. So you got all these books of the Bible, then the book of Job. But Job is actually older. I've been told by very smart people that Job happened before the book of Ruth, pretty far before the book of Ruth. Okay, and if I were to study it well enough, I'd probably be able to tell that. Job, in Job's time, behold, happy is the person whom God disciplines. So do not reject the discipline of the Almighty. Okay, calling God the Almighty. I think that's one of Job's friends. I think this is Job because Job does 6:4. I think 6:4 was Job because Job was being beaten up. Job had all his stuff taken away. His family died. Job had boils. Boils hurt really bad. Boils, sores all over your body. They're called boils. They hurt super bad. Job had these super bad hurting sores all over his body. For the arrows of the Almighty are within me. My spirit drinks their poison. The terrors of God line up against me. So Job, since he is being afflicted, let's go see what happened to Job. No, just Job. Oops. Okay, look at this. Oh, here we go. There's a man in the land of Uz. His name was Job. The man was blameless, upright, fearing God and turning away from evil. Fearing God and turning away from evil. 7 sons. 7 is like the number of perfection. 7 sons and 3 daughters were born to him. His possessions were 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500, all the man was the greatest of all the men of beasts. His sons used to go hold a feast in the house, each one on his day, probably his birthday. Job would send word to them and consecrate them. Job would get up early in the morning and offer burnt offerings. Perhaps my son have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. So Job was offering sacrifice for his own son. He's trying to tell us how upright Job is, how awesome Job is. Okay. Satan allowed to test Job. Okay. Let's see. Now there's the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, Satan also. From where do you come? Satan answered the Lord, from roaming about on the earth. The Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job? There is no one like him on all the earth, blameless and upright. Satan answered, does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not made a fence around him? Okay. Reach out your hand now and touch all that he has, and he will certainly curse you to your face. Then the Lord said to Satan, I'm not doing that. Then the Lord said to Satan, behold, all that he has is in your power. Only do not reach out and put a hand on him. Okay. Watch this. The oxen were plowing. Okay. Now on that day, when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house, a messenger came to Job and said, Satan, look at it. The Lord said to Satan, behold, all that he has is in your power. Okay, let's see. What is Satan going to do? The oxen were plowing and the female donkeys feeding beside them, and the Sabians attacked them and took them. They also killed the servants with the edge of the sword. While he was speaking, another came. The fire of God fell from heaven and burned up the sheep and the servants. While he was speaking, the Chaldeans formed 3 units and made a raid on the camels and took them, killed the servants. While he was speaking, your sons and your daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house. And behold, a great wind came from across the wilderness and struck the 4 corners of the house, and it fell on the young people, and they died. All of Job's cattle, all of Job's sheep, Job's son's house, all of Job's family, gone. All of Job's servants, gone. Job got up and tore his robe, naked. Okay, here we go. Right? Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I shall return there, because he just lost everything. The Lord gave, He didn't say Satan gave. He didn't say, hey, that Satan gave. No, the Lord gave. Oh, I'm sorry. The Lord gave. You know that, and the Lord is taken away. He didn't say Satan is taken away. He didn't say the Lord gave as Satan took away. No, he said the Lord. He can't see what happens in heaven. He can't see that it was like God was like, hey, my servant Job, go test him out, see if he stays faithful or not. Okay, he doesn't know that. The Lord is taken away. He thinks. Now, of course, it's Satan who's taken away. But the Lord, he says, blessed be the name of the Lord. What did Naomi say? Since the Lord has testified against me, and the Almighty has afflicted me, does she say, blessed be the name of the Lord? She doesn't say, curse the Lord either. You know, despite all this, Job did not sin, nor did he blame God. Does she blame God? I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. The Lord has brought. I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. Or, I mean, is she blaming God? I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. You know, what can I do? Is that the way she's looking at it? I'm not really sure. There's not enough information. You know, the Almighty has dealt very bitterly with me. She's saying like this. She's not saying bad times have fallen upon me. She's saying God has done this to me. Just like over here, the Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Chapter 2. Okay, Satan answered, oh, the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job a second time? A second time. For there is no one like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, fearing God and turning away from evil. And he still holds firm to his integrity, although you incited me against him to ruin him without cause. God was incited by Satan to ruin him without cause. That's kind of strange language. We're like, would God ever do that? We would assume he wouldn't, you know. So our assumptions sometimes need to go the way of the garbage bin, you know. If something in the Bible, something in God's word makes us uncomfortable, then be uncomfortable, I guess. But in all that you do, despite all this, do not sin nor blame God. Be like Job. He thinks God did it, but hey, he thinks the Lord is taking away. I can't read Job's mind. Does he think like the Lord literally attacked him and took it away? I'm not sure what he thinks, but he attributes everything to the Lord, at least in the grand scheme of things. Okay, look at Satan says. Satan answered the Lord, skin for skin. Yes, all that a man has, he will give for his life. Satan's like, look, I took away all of his stuff, but give me the man's skin and he'll curse you. All that he has, he'll give her. However, reach out with your hand now and touch his bone and his flesh. He will curse you to your face. So the Lord said to Satan, behold, he is in your power, only spare his life. So God's going to let Satan go down. Then Satan went out from the presence of the Lord and struck Job with severe boils. Satan can do that. Jesus does say there's a woman bent over with infirmity. Jesus heals her back. The religious leaders get mad. What are you doing? You know, healing people in the synagogue. Quit that. And Jesus said, this woman who Satan has kept bound all these years, I just freed. I guess Satan can, like, you know, sickness and disease can be Satan. Obviously, everything's from Satan in one sense. You know, the whole snake in the garden thing, you know, if that was Satan, you know, which most people think it is, you know, either way is a bad thing. And whenever they sinned, everything went to pot, right? When the snake was like, hey, eat this fruit, you'll be like God. And they were like, okay. And they ate it anyway, just disregarded what God said. That's whenever everything started. So really, everything goes back to Satan, I guess. Right here, Satan causing boils. Job took a piece of pottery to scrape himself. Boils hurt very bad. Okay, now here's the part we get to. Then his wife said to him, so Satan left Job's wife alive. Okay, Naomi's Naomi's wife, Naomi didn't have a wife. Naomi's husband, dead. It doesn't say Satan killed her husband. It doesn't say God was like, hey, Satan, go down and kill Naomi's husband. I'm not saying, let's look at Job. At first, we were just looking at the Almighty. Yes, the Almighty does mean God. And now we got into this. I'm not saying up in heaven, Satan and God, they were talking. God was talking, and Satan showed up and was like, "Hey, look at Ruth. Look at Naomi. She's really, well, let me take stuff from her. Okay, go take her husband. I'll let you do that and see if she. I bet she still won't curse me." I'm not saying that's happening here. I'm not saying Satan took Elimelech and her husband, her sons. Mahlon and Chilion were Naomi's sons. Yes. Naomi is married to Elimelech. They have two sons, Mahlon and Chilion. All three of them die in Moab. I'm not saying Satan killed them. I'm not, directly. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying Ruth here is failing. I'm just comparing. Like Ruth is blaming God. Ruth is saying the Almighty has dealt with me. Naomi, man, the names. Naomi is saying this. Naomi is saying the Almighty has dealt very bitterly with me. I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. That really did happen in Job. And Job really said, the Lord gives and the Lord takes away. Okay. Then Job's wife said to him, do you still hold firm your integrity? Curse God and die. Does Naomi curse God? It doesn't seem that way. It seems like she's just saying, this is what happened. The Lord testified against me. The Almighty has afflicted me. She hadn't cursed God, though. She's just saying what Job said. Job said, hey, the Lord gives and takes away. The Lord took away. Okay, Job didn't curse God when he said, Lord takes away. In fact, then he said, blessed be the name of the Lord. Right here. Then his wife said to him, do you still hold firm to your integrity? Curse God and die. But Job said to her, you are speaking as one of the foolish women speaks. Shall we actually accept good from God, but not accept adversity? Now, he didn't say, shall we accept good from God, but not accept adversity from God? But that's implied. I'm pretty certain that's what he means. Should we accept good from God, but not accept adversity also from God? Despite all this, despite all the stuff that has happened, despite the boils, despite a wife who wants him to curse God, despite his whole family and all his stuff he has dying, Job did not sin with his lips. At least with his lips. Hopefully his heart, with his lips could be some kind of idiom. It could be a metaphor, meaning he did not sin since he was speaking. If we're talking about Job speaking stuff and all this that he spoke, he didn't sin. Did Naomi sin? I call her Naomi, not Ruth. Did Naomi sin? It doesn't tell us she did. So, okay. Yes, I am a grown man who chews my fingernails. Right on YouTube. All right, here we go. Okay. The Almighty, the Lord. The Lord, the Almighty. Okay, I'm going to look up the Lord. The earth is the Lord's. See the capital O-R-D, but it's really tiny. Okay. When they wrote the word Yahweh, they didn't want to actually write Yahweh. They didn't want to write YHWH or YHVH or however you would spell it. Okay. So instead of writing YHWH, the Hebrews didn't like that. They would put a dash or they would put another word. The King James followed that. Lord, Lord, instead of Yahweh. some very, very modern Bibles, they change the word Lord back to Yahweh. Okay. Right down here, 2:4, the Lord. It should say Yahweh, but it doesn't. They change it to Lord from YHWH. In the original Hebrew, it does say on that day the Yahweh. I might just say Yahweh, maybe not the Yahweh. Okay, that's probably what she's talking about here. Yeah, she's probably saying, but Yahweh has brought me back empty. I went away full, but not just God, not just some random God up there, not just like the God of Yahweh, his personal name. Moses, the burning bush passage. I am that I am. And God said to Moses, I am who I am. He said, this is what you shall say to the sons of Israel. I am has sent me to you. Okay. Moses is like, God, who should I say sent me? One second, guys. He said, I am the God of your father, of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. For I am aware of their sufferings. Behold, I am. Okay. Then Moses, right here, like this. Then Moses said to God, behold, I am going to the sons of Israel, and I will say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you. Now they may say to me, what is his name? What shall I say to them? I don't know. I don't know what to say to them. Hey, God, what if they ask me what your name is? I don't know what to say to them. And God said to Moses, I am who I am. F and G. Relate to the name of God, Yahweh, rendered Lord, okay, which is derived from the verb hayah, to be. Hayah. Okay. Yeah. Yahweh rendered Lord. Remember, we were looking at that, Lord. And I bet it's the same here. Related Yahweh, Lord. Yeah. Okay. So, Yahweh. Hayah. I am that I am. He said, that is what you say to the sons of Israel. I am has sent me to you. So Moses is told just to say, Hayah. Hayah has sent me to you. Yahweh has sent me to you. She is saying Yahweh did. Why is that important? A lot of times Jews would avoid that. Back then, they probably didn't avoid it. Modern Jews who wrote this book, they might have avoided it. It might be dashes there instead of Yahweh. A lot of modern day Jews at the time of Jesus, modern day Jews, they definitely avoid saying Yahweh. They don't, sometimes they write, like here, I'm going to type it up here in the search bar here. You'll see this G-D, see G-D. That's God, but they don't want to write God because it's too sacred. The name's too sacred. There's, the whole do not take the Lord's name and the Lord's name in vain. The third commandment, or something like that. They were like, how can we avoid taking the Lord's name in vain? We just won't say his name at all. We won't speak it. We won't write it. But they didn't have that qualm back then. Naomi's like, hey, Yahweh has brought me back empty. Why do you call me Naomi, since Yahweh has testified against me? Yahweh has afflicted me. Testified against me. I bet it's not there except for, Ruth. There we go. Oh, then two worthless men came in and sat opposite. I forget his name. And the worthless men testified against him. Oh, Naboth. Against Naboth. Naboth cursed God and the king, so they took him outside the city and stoned him to death. So they were lying about Naboth in this story. This story in 1 Kings, they're lying about Naboth. Worthless men came in and testified against him. Naboth cursed God and the king. They lied about him. They testified against him. They were against him. I'm not saying, right here in Naomi and Ruth, why do you call me Naomi, since the Lord has testified against me? We're not saying that God lied about Naomi. No, but God is like if they were in a court of law, God didn't testify for her. He testified against her. That's what she's saying about God. She's saying that because I mean she lost her husband and her two sons. She came back with a daughter. She don't have any grandkids to pass on the family line. She didn't have a family to live with. She's living all alone. I mean, but she's got Ruth. So we can see, we can assume that Naomi is, I mean, she's not mincing words here, right? Reminds me of King David. King David, read some of the Psalms by King David, and he's just straightforward. Today we sugarcoat it. Oh Lord God, sometimes I'm sad. Oh God, please help me not to be sad. We sugarcoat it. We're not like, Lord, look what you have done to me. You have made me sad, Lord. You have given me. We don't say, oh no, we wouldn't dare say that to God. God can handle it. You can tell God your innermost desires, I think. Why do I say I think? I'm trying not to get all emotional and theological. No, okay, I don't think I know it. Because in the Psalms, the prayer book of the Bible, they talk about God that way. Let's look at this. Is 33 a good one? Let's see. No, that one's that's a good one for God. They're loving. They're talking about how awesome God is. Let's go to the next one. Well, bless the Lord. I sought the Lord's help. Oh, the taste and see the Lord is good. Hey, that's awesome. Okay, Psalmist David. Contend, Lord, with those who contend with me. Fight against those who fight against me. Take hold of a buckler and shelter. Rise up as my help. Yeah. Lord, how long will you look on? Rescue my soul from their ravages. How long will you look on? Look at this. So my soul shall rejoice in the Lord. It shall rejoice in his salvation. Yeah. All my bones will say, Lord, all my bones will say, Lord, who is like you who rescues me? Right here, verse 11. Malicious witnesses rise up. They ask me things I do not know. They repay me evil for good to the bereavement of my soul. But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. In other words, I was sad for them. I humbled my soul with fasting, but my prayer kept returning to me. I went about as though it were my friend or my brother. I bowed down in mourning like one who mourns for a mother, but at my stumbling they rejoiced. When they were sick, I humbled my soul with fasting. When they were sick, I went about as though they were my friend or my brother, but at my stumbling they rejoiced. Man, the afflicted people whom I did not know gathered together against me. I didn't even know them, and they gathered against me. They slandered me without ceasing. Lord, how long will you look on? I mean, how do you say it? I don't know. Was he more like, Lord, how long will you look on? Rescue my soul from the rabbit. I don't think he said it that way. You can read other psalms, and he is very emotional. One second, guys. I'll be right back. My wife kept getting texts on her phone. I don't know. Okay. Judge me, Lord, according to your righteousness. Naomi was like, the Lord has testified against me. King David, judge me. Stir yourself and awake to my right and to my cause, my God, my Lord. Judge me, Lord, my God, according to your righteousness. Do not let them rejoice over me. Do not let them say to their heart, aha, already died. Do not let them say, we have swallowed him up. We have swallowed him up. We have beat him down, basically. Don't let him say that, Lord. He's asking for the Lord to be for him. maybe Naomi could read the Psalms. And of course, the Psalms of David were written after Naomi because Naomi had a daughter-in-law named Ruth, and Ruth had a son named uh, Obed. Obed had a son named Jesse. Jesse had a son named King David. His name wasn't King David, but his name was David. He became king and he wrote this. So obviously the psalm wasn't written yet, you know. Okay. There's other times in the Bible, whenever in the Psalms, whenever David and other people are really saying like God, what are you doing? God, why aren't you helping me? Where are you at? You know, you have made me sad. There's other times in the Bible people say stuff like that. You know, you can talk to God very frankly. He can handle it. The state of your heart. The New Testament, book of Luke, the angel's like, hey, Mary, you're gonna have a baby. Who will be the Messiah? And Mary said out loud to the angel, Mary didn't think of this in her head. She said to the angel, how can this be? I've never known a man. The angel said, the Holy Spirit will come on you. The Most High will overshadow you. You have found favor with God. You're going to have a son. He's going to be the Messiah or whatever. Okay, cool. Zechariah's in the temple. The same angel comes to him and is like, hey, dude, guess what? Elizabeth is going to have a son. Your wife, Elizabeth, she's going to have a son. Zechariah says, how can that be? We're too old. The angel's like, I am Gabriel. I stand in the presence of God. Since you didn't believe me, you're going to be mute. Why in the world would he act in one way to Mary? Mary said, how could you're telling me I'm going to have a baby? How? I've never been with a man. And the angel said, don't worry, I'll explain it to you. Everything's good. And Zechariah said, my wife's kind of old. How in the world is she going to have a baby? The angel said, dude, since you didn't believe me, you're going to be mute. Like, why such seemingly different reactions? They both questioned, you know. Maybe Zechariah was totally innocent, but seemingly different reactions. God knows the state of each of our hearts. I don't know the state of Naomi's heart. You know, I know the state of King David's heart because it says David was a man after God's own heart. Okay. So, I mean, I look at all this and I think, man, you need to chill out, Naomi, and just love God anyway. Don't tell her that. It's like whenever somebody's in a hospital really bad and you go in and you quote scripture to them and they're like, stop quoting scripture to me. It seems so trite. Yeah, it does. You're treating them like they've ever thought about it before or something. Job, he had all those boils and his friends came to him. They sat silent for 7 days to mourn for him. And then they were like, you must have done something wrong. You must have done something wrong. You must have sinned. Oh, quit trying to vindicate yourself, Job. No, Job, tell us the truth. I bet you did something wrong. It's like, come on. What kind of friend are you? All my family has died. My wife wants me to curse God and then to die. I mean, I'm in pain here. You sit silent for 7 days. Thank you. But then you tell me that you just judge me and tell me how wrong I am. Yeah, I was just struck. I go through all this because I was just struck by Naomi saying all this. I'm like, man, I was saying to myself, I was saying, man, like she seems bitter. She says, call me bitter. She seems really bitter. She seems to be blaming the Lord, blaming God. Well, other people in the Bible we see did say that if bad things happen, they're from God. Other people have said that. So the precedent. Other people have said very pointed things to God, like directly. They're not beating around the bush. But there's a precedent for that, and it's okay. We can speak freely to God. Right here, she's doing all that, but it doesn't tell her, can we read her heart? No. Okay, guys, got something I got to go do. I think this one, let's see, 52 minutes. Probably haven't been talking very long at all. And let's go look real quick. Facebook. Need to go type something. My Facebook group. Let's see. Yeah. Theology for dummies. Okay. Okay. Number 3. Notifications. Evangelical moonbats. All right. So evangelical. You used to say Nighthawks. We changed the name moonbats. All right. Let me go see real quick here. Like I clicked on it. And where's the post? Nighthawks movie night. Okay. Need to make a post here. I'm going to say 15 minutes till movie. Until movie time. Oh, hey, look, my friend. 15 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. Psych. Okay, guys. I think I'm comfortable going into chapter 2 finally. Just keep thinking of more and more stuff, you know. But we're going to chapter 2. Last time we did go all the way through chapter 2. Went kind of quick. Now we're gonna go the last video. We started off kind of slow, but then went through every verse all the way down to chapter 2, all the way to the end. And then we finally answered. I kept saying, who does Ruth live with? Who does Naomi live with? Do they live? I'm not sure. And she lived with her mother-in-law. It's talking about Ruth. Oh, finally, then it answered that question. That was kind of funny that I kept saying that. Like, I don't know who Ruth is with. Naomi said to Ruth, "This is good, my daughter-in-law, so she will stay with her." And she lived with, oh, she lived, okay. Maybe they have a house. I bet you anything they left. Okay. Elimelech, everybody, you were attached to your property. Everyone was attached to their property. I could go into this, but I need to get off for that movie night thing. You know, the movie night here, 15 minutes. Everybody was attached to property. After, if you sold your property, there's a thing called the Year of Jubilee. Every 50 years, the land would go back to the original owners. The sabbatical year and the Year of Jubilee. Okay? Right here, 25:10. You shall consecrate the 50th year and proclaim a release throughout the land to all its inhabitants. It shall be a jubilee for you. This is in the law. This is Levitical law, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus. So this is telling the Israelites how to live. This is like the law of the land for them. It shall be a jubilee for you, and each of you shall return to his own property. Each of you shall return to his family. If you're a slave, get to return. If you left your property and sold it, you get it back. Let me see. You shall not sow, you shall not is a jubilee of the holy, you shall eat the produce on the field. Oh, right here, 25:13. On the year of Jubilee, each of you shall return to his own property. Oh, he is to sell to you according to the number of the crops. You're supposed to return the land back to the owner. Since I'm reading it, on this year of Jubilee, you shall return to his own property, each of you. Furthermore, if you should make a sale to your friend or buy from your friend's hand, you shall not wrong one another. Corresponding to the number of years after Jubilee, you shall buy from your friend. He is to sell to you according to the number of crops. In proportion, a greater number of years, you shall increase its price. Okay, you shall not wrong one another. You know, don't be like, uh-oh, the year of Jubilee is coming. I better not sell my land, you know, because it's going to return to you or something like that. It's a little confusing. We'll have to go through it eventually, but they were tied to the land. They wanted land. Land, like I said, they wanted kids. They wanted land. Kids ensured that their family name would go on. Land ensured they would have a place for their family to stay. They had family burial tombs where they'd be buried in. Everything was tied very much to we want to stay the same, stay the same, today, no, things are changing all the time. Today people leave their parents and go wherever. I'm gonna go take a trip across the sea. I'm gonna rebel and go somewhere else. I don't care, who you are and what you do. I want to be my own free person. No, not that way in the Bible. They were attached to their family, to their land, their possessions. Yeah. So I bet she lived with her mother-in-law. I bet they had land, Elimelech's land when they went back from Moab. This is what it says in the book of Ruth, but this is just basically what would have been done. This has been the everyday thing. Elimelech probably had land. Nobody messed with it. When Ruth came and when Naomi came back, the land and probably the house and other stuff was probably still there, waiting for them because it's theirs. Today, it'd have been abandoned. People would have taken over it. Back then, no, it was theirs. As long as it's protected from thieves and criminals and such. But she probably was able just to walk into her house and start doing stuff, Pretty cool. That's just my assumption because that's just the way they operated back. I know it's strange to us. We left the house for 10 years, went to a foreign country and came back. Somebody else living there. No, you abandoned this place. It's not yours. The different mindset that we have from what they had back then. So, all right, guys, next time we'll start full blown in chapter 2. We'll talk about gleanings. Yeah, fun. Stop share. Okay. Lord, thank you for letting us look at your word and help us to not judge people's hearts. Help us to know we can talk to you any way we, our emotions, we can really pour ourselves out to you, Lord God, in any way. And help us to understand that, yes, it was different back then than it is today. These are a lot of good lessons from your book, Lord. Thank you for teaching them to us. Thank you for dying for our sins so that we may love you and have a relationship with you and be with you forever. You're so wonderful and glorious. Amen, Lord. Now later.